Hello everyone and welcome back to Scrolls, where today we're looking at deck number 4 of my top 10 Scrolls decks. Today we're looking at Watchergeddon. I put a poll out the other day on YouTube asking which deck people want me to cover next, and this is one that was selected. Barely. It was close between this and two others, so we'll do those next. But Watchergeddon, probably my favourite, most consistent deck I've played throughout the game. Definitely one I favour playing and feel most confident using. And the deck you see in front of you is pretty much your standard Decay deck, which I would take into your usual meta. It's the deck I played before the game closed, and you can't go wrong with it. However, this is not the version I'm going to show you today, because this version is not suited to today's meta, as it's mainly loads of more aggressive big creatures rather than slower decay mirrors and energy decks. So I'll be showing you a different version. More specifically, this one, which is built around a sort of poison theme, which I was doing to sort of test how viable poison is, because it was never really been explored since poison was changed years and years ago. And it's performing very well actually in the current meta. So I thought I'd show you this instead, because it's a lot sexier and different, which is what's most important. So we'll start off with the main set of scrolls that this deck is built around, which is the poison theme. So to do that, we are running 3 Ashen Vapours, which has Linger 5 and increases poison damage by 1. So whilst we've got this in play, instead of poison dealing 1 damage, it deals 2. And suddenly we're able to do a hell of a lot more, or twice as much damage as we were before, and it really just helps wind down our enemy's health. Then we've got Brain Lice, which is probably, it could be the best decay scroll. It's up there. Enchanted creature becomes poisoned when it's destroyed. Draw 1 scroll, so it cycles, and it's dealing 1 damage. So we can take something out in 3 or 4 turns. 2 turns if it's Ashen Vapored. If it's cursed, even better. So yeah, it's a great scroll, Brain Lice. Then we've got Infectious Blight. When it comes into play, enchanted creature becomes poisoned, standard sort of poison spell. But also, when the creature is destroyed, a random creature on the same side gets Infectious Blight. So we've basically got this source of removal, which just keeps staying on an opponent's board unless they get rid of it themselves, which can happen, which is annoying. So you've got to pick your targets well, because the fertile soil just hurts. But yeah, it forces your opponents to deal with it, and if they don't, then you've got a source of damage pinging around, which we can then use Curse to sort of inflate. And yeah, really, really good at countering today's more aggressive creature meta. Then we've got Miasma Well, which used to increase poison damage by 1, but then that turns into Ashen Vapours. This, it's okay. It's not as strong as I think it should be. It should either have 4 health or maybe haste. But when we change scrolls, we'll get to that. But in its current form and in the current meta, it's performing well. Decay mirrors, it wrecks. Growth and Order does very well, and you just need to get a couple of poisons off and you're doing very well. And NG obviously can get burned, which sucks, but it's very good. When it countdown becomes 0, a random opponent creature becomes poisoned. So we've got a constant source of poison for our opponent to deal with, and if they don't, again, more damage being put out. Then lastly, we've got 2 Maya Curse. Only running 2 because 3, once you play 1, your opponent can deal with it just by moving stuff around. So it's basically a 2 cost, deal 1 damage to fling things around. And it's great on structures, anything that summons automatons. Suddenly they're all getting poisoned. And it's great with cluster hex as well, because suddenly you've sort of got a mini board wipe, well, a mini sort of AoE effect, which is great. So we're running 2 of those, and yeah, does a good job. Now, those aren't the only poison theme scrolls we're running. We're also running Infested Husk here, which is a 2-drop. 2 through 3, and when an Infested Husk is destroyed, a random opponent creature becomes poisoned. This isn't a scroll I take into any meta, but it mainly because Witch Doctor wants humans and it's not a human. So you're kind of like, yes, it's probably one of the best 2-drops. So, but you need to kind of balance it out with the balance for Witch Doctor. But when it's destroyed, opponent's creature becomes poisoned. That's the effect you want. So it's another block you can put down, and then just poison something random. Blightbearer, 3/2/4 for 4, takes 1 poison damage before attacking. You've got to be careful about Ashen Vapor because it will do 2 damage to itself. And when it's destroyed, all creatures in the same way becomes poisoned. You don't want to put this out in the front of your own Witch Doctor, because obviously you're poisoning a Witch Doctor, but it's great as another defender just in a lane because your opponent's creature will get poisoned. And then we've got Cursemonger. It doesn't deal poison itself, but it does have the option to curse an opponent's units, so suddenly 1 poison damage will deal 3. It's one of the MVPs of the deck. It's very, very good. One of my favourite scrolls. And then to sort of add to removal side of things, we've got 2 Damning Curse here. Taxing 1 really hurts. Don't know why it's got it, because we're doing 1 magic damage to all our stuff. That's enough of an inconvenience as it is. We're only running 2 because 3, we've got enough removal going around. It's mainly just the big stuff we want to deal with, the Damning Curse. Cluster Hex is a 2 of. All units on target tail and adjacent tiles get cursed too. So sort of AoE curse effect, which then means our poison can have more of an effect. And then Draining Mist to slow our opponent's stuff down. We're in a very aggressive meta. Mono growth aggro, mono order, tempo order, all hurt. So Draining Mist slows them down and allows us to sort of build up. Next we've got the creatures. Obviously we've had some creatures from Blightbearer, Infested Husk and Cursemonger, but these are the rest of them. Got 2 Emo Tribesmen and 2 Lord Darkling. Ilme Tribesman, 2/3/4, vanilla creature, but it's a great wall. Slows our opponent's stuff down and allows us to put our better stuff behind it to protect it. Then 2 Lord Darkling, a bit weak, but in situations where you just need that extra bit of damage, it's really useful. And again, it's another human. Harvester, staple decay creature, 8/5/4, relentless. We're destroying a lot of stuff, and our opponent sees it as such a huge threat, so it's a bit of a distraction for them. And when it does attack, bloody hell, 8 relentless damage. It's going to destroy almost everything. Ilme Rot Eater, 3/2/3. When anything adjacent is destroyed, it gets +1 attack and +1 health. Excellent at beating growth, because when it gets huge, they can't deal with it. Weak against energy, which is why we've got Lord Darkling here. So we want to proc Lord Darkling to make Ilme Rot Eater a 4/44 when it comes into play. And then the opponent can't burn it. Little tip. But yeah, another great scroll. Turn 2 Tribesman, turn 3 Rot Eater. Standard opening, very good. Then Cursemonger, turn 4 or something. You know, it's really, really strong. Oblivion Seeker, source of card draw, cost 5, 2/2/3, draw 2 scrolls. Pretty standard. Then Ilme Witch Dogs is a 3 of, 45 range attack. When a human creature adjacent to Ilme Witch Dogs is destroyed, a husk is summoned in its place. So it's more of a sort of wall just to stop the idle damage and get to stopping the opponent get to our more important creatures. Relentless hurts this deck, so target them. But anything just normal, suddenly all these become amazing walls. Summoning a husk, great value. And then lastly, the win con of the deck, and what this deck's really named after, which is Watchergeddon. 2 Watcher and 3 Necrogeddon. Necrogeddon, sacrifice all creatures you control. Creatures sacrificed this way are replaced by husks at countdown 0. So we've got 5 creatures on board. We get 5 hasted husks, 15 damage. Great way of dealing with our opponent's board or attacking their idols. Then we've got 2 Watchers. It's a 0/4, but when a unit adjacent to Watcher is destroyed by non-combat damage or death effects, Watcher deals 2 damage to a random opponent idol. So combine these two, we're doing a lot of direct idol damage to our opponents, and it's just a great way of finishing the game. Mainly tackling sort of an energy-heavy meta which we had before game closed, but it's still really valuable here. So yeah, that is the deck. We will take it into a game now and see how we do. Okay, sadly no one wants a game. Cry. So we're playing against the AI who is playing energy, so this should be interesting. Standard opener. I think we can keep it. It's not fantastic, but it will do. Ooh, that's interesting. So an Ash Runner. So that is primary target for our Brain Lice removal. We can go Lord Darkling. The next turn we can go Brain Lice. Harvesters, not Magma though, bloody hell. Okay, let's see what's going on. We'll go with the Brain Lice on the Magma Foe because it's the biggest threat on the board. And here we go. We'll do this so it can't get burned. Now we're taking a lot of damage here as he plays stuff, but we're fine. He plays everything good, so only take 2 damage. Got a nice AoE damage here for my curse, I think. We'll just sacrifice here to see what we get. So we get Draining Mist. I think we're likely to play Draining Mist next turn, So I could go Blackberry, Infested Husk, or Mycos. I think we'll go with Mycos, just to get some damage in. We'll protect the Rot Eater. I think that's important. He gets a proc off the High Smuggler, but little I can do about that. Okay, so we've got Watcher and Cursemonger, Blackberry, Draining Mist. That's going to die to a Mycos, so there's no point in dealing with that. I'm going to come in for idle damage. This is going to attack, but Draining Mist on one creature is not great value. We'll get rid of Watcher and we will play... Infectious Blight's tempting, but I think we'll go with a Cursemonger because we've already got a target for Infectious Blight there next turn. I have no idea what crazy deck this is. But the fact we've now got a Cursemonger board means we can start cursing things and all his stuff will die in one hit if it's been poisoned and cursed. Right, so we'll start going up resources here. Deal damage there, and we will start trying to get a bit more involved. This Cursemonger could deal a lot of damage if it gets buffed, but you got to take risks. So he's able to take out fast, but we do get the buff on the Rot Eater. Now when my countdown gets to 0, it gets destroyed. Okay, so we want to take that out and take that out with these two. This has been poisoned. What's that been poisoned by? Was that by the Infested Husk, wasn't it? Okay, so that's good. So we can now look to Mycos. We'll get a Draining Mist here. So we'll Mycos here, this will take out the High Smuggler. We'll play a Miasma Well. Just so I can show you how Miasma Well performs. If it does perform, which hopefully it does. Okay, we'll get rid of Immo Watch Doctor here. We've got nothing to protect things, which is a bit bad. So we might have to just go double defense here. So we're playing Infested Husk. Yeah, and we'll play a Rot Eater. And move down here. So we're protecting the Miasma Well, we're protecting our Rot Eater. Hopefully he doesn't have Thunder Surge. I don't think this deck would run Thunder Surge, it's kind of like an aggro energy build. With order to splash in for focus and other buffs. Pother, okay, that works. Now it's going for the trade, which means we're going to get poison proc. This has still got Mycos on it, so that's going to deal poison damage here. This does have Infectious Blight on it. Why did that get poisoned? So now we've got some attacks which we can't deal with. But what we can do is look to curse things here. So we'll get rid of Watchergeddon. If we move... So what we're going to curse... That's dying to Infectious Blight, that's dying to a double poison effect. It's like 4 poison effects. It's getting poisoned from there. Oh, we've got a viewer. Why weren't you around for a game earlier when I asked? It's where we move these, I guess. For question, I think we'll move that up there. That down there. That can go there. Then we're going to want to curse something. I think we'll curse this. Because that's the sort of biggest threat on the board. Along with that, but it's got Mycos on it. And then we'll want to protect our stuff. So I think we'll go with Lord Darkling and Rot Eater. So I have some poison procs. 2 things die. So that's now got Infectious Blight on it, so that will still attack next turn, so I might have to deal with that. And these two are attacking. So it might be a good cluster hex target. We'll have to see how he moves. He's got a lot of energy here thanks to his Snargle Hunt. Potion of Resistance, okay. Let's get rid of the Miasma Well. I've got a Damning Curse, so that will destroy that, which will make me upset. I don't want to be upset. So I think we're going to go with something a bit dodgy, are we? I think we'll just have to put that there. Move that up there. I'm changing my mind now. Okay, that wasn't great, but that potion of resistance kind of threw me off. So let's see what's attacking next turn. He hasn't got 9 energy this turn, which is useful, but when this destroys a non-human creature, which we've got here in our beast, he will gain energy next turn. So it might be time to get Witch Doctor down. Miasma is proccing. Right, what's he got? Machinated. And a Spark. Okay, not a bad turn. I dash for now. Does that destroy everything there? Probably should. Yep. Doesn't get any extra energy though. That poisons that. Okay. It has got Curse 2 on it, but it's also got Potion of Resistance, which is annoying. Let's go up here. We've got Ashen Vapours, which I think will be useful to play next turn. We're going to go over Witch Doctor here. I think this still has pot on, it does. So we need 2 poison triggers, but we'll get some extra poison triggers off Black Bear here. So let's get rid of Damning Curse, because I don't think we're going to need it. We'll get Ashen Vapours. We will take out that. And I'm going to put down... Let's put down a Curse Mango. So our extra powerful poison now deals with that. It's going to just probably going to run through most of his board here. This has still got Maya Curse now. So Maya Curse will destroy that. That will take some extra damage. That will die to that. That is pretty good. And now we can start working on his idols. So we'll put down a Tribesman to protect the Rot Eater. And we'll go with a Blightbearer. Okay, so we'll lose the Infectious Blight, but we don't care because his board is going to be wrecked. Let's take out his idol, and we will go up in resources. It's important to keep going up in resources when you can. And we will just go with an Oblivion Seeker. And this just secures the extra poison damage for 5 more turns, which is very handy indeed. Now I do want to win this game with the Watchergeddon effect, because obviously that's what the deck's sort of built around, as well as poison. Removing the Snuggle Hunter, okay. A Tall Initiate. Poison that, of course we have. We'll stick with Infectious Blight then. We've got Cluster Hex. Okay, so Cluster Hex here deals with all the poison on there, so that should do that. We will destroy... no, we'll just do idle damage down here. So our cluster, between Cluster Hex for poison damage and Ashen Vapours, we are dealing 4 damage with poison to these creatures. So that's dying because it's been cursed, and we'll just Infectious Blight it. That wipes his board. We'll take out an idol and play another Miasma. So Miasma is performing very well this game. Must have poisoned, you know, 5 or 6 creatures, which is excellent value. And we win the game. I've actually got to move these around because, as I said before, Black Bear will take 2 damage here thanks to that. Easy does it! And a Monstrous Brood. How fantastic. So yes, that is the deck. It comes in at a modest 138,445 gold on today's black market prices. If that's still too expensive for you, then I would recommend getting rid of Damning Curse for Unbind and Infectious Blight for Pest Dissimulator. That will knock its cost down by about 80,000 gold to just over 50,000. The deck can be adjusted depending on what meta you're facing. As I said, it's being built around the current meta. If that changes though, and you're facing way more aggressive decks, like tons of Monogrowth, not just Tempo Order, then it's probably worth getting rid of the 2 Watchers, 3 Necrogeddons, and 2 Laurel Darklings. Adding in another Chiseman for extra defense, 3 Languid, and 3 Soulsteel. Languid and Soulsteel are key scrolls in Decay decks, going back all the years. However, Soulsteel, there's not many 2 health creatures going around at the moment, so that's why I'm running Pure Poison. And Languid, again, the attacks of creatures are quite high. When you're dealing with like 5-6 attacks, knocking it down by 2 doesn't help. Drawing Scroll is great, but there's just not enough room for Languid in a ladder meta. However, when you know what you're facing, Languid can be great. Then against Control, you can take out your Draining Mist, you can take out Cluster Hex and Maya Curse, add in another Laurel Darkling, add in 3 Rippers, having a 1-cost creature you can drop down in front of Witch Doctor is great, and having another 1-cost creature you can put around Watcher is very useful, so you can go turn 8, not turn 8, but when you've got 8 resources, Ripper and Necrogeddon just for an extra proc, and then add in 2 Lifestealer for 2 Cluster Hex. Yeah. Extra bulky creatures, 4 attack, very useful, and it keeps healing itself, so your opponent's removal, not as effective. So yeah, that is the deck. Poison, Watcher, Decay, however you want to call it. Performing very well for me at the moment on the ladder. And again, if you do want to just play a normal Decay deck, then I'd play this version. But that is it. Mono Decay, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Goodbye.